What's up, you guys? Today's animated series review is based on a popular 80s martial arts film franchise while going through some adventures traveling around the world in search for a sacred artifact, and I'm talking about The Karate Kid. Karate Kid, the animated series, aired in 1989, containing one season with a total of 13 episodes. The story is roughly the same throughout each episode as Daniel Larrusso, the main character in the movies, alongside Mr. Miyagi, his mentor, and a new girl named Taki Temurai from Okinawa, travel around the world in search for a magical shrine that contains unique powers. Because it was stolen from the resting place in Okinawa, these three characters must retrieve it before it gets into the wrong hands. Lo and behold, every episode showcases the shrine either appearing in random locations, being in the possession of someone who either discovers its powers for personal gain or keeps it as a display piece. Although our main characters at some point get close to its whereabouts, whether they're in North America, Paris, Australia, Moscow, or even Norway, oftentimes it gets away, leading them to continue their quest into the next episode. Throughout the series, we get introduced to many different characters who play a role in the shrine's power as they use it for their advantage, which causes our three main characters to retrieve it the best they can. For example, you have characters who become villains or victims of its immense energy, like Noah, the chief of the Jaguar tribes, the Dragon Men, the amazing Roland, Hollywood movie star Kevin Woods, the Bear, who's a notorious smuggler, Yoshi, Sasha Quaroff, Captain Olsen, Jim Hollings, and Walter Cromwell. But then you also have some allies who aid in the help to get the shrine, like Kala, Tanaka, Rina, Kiwu, and Shenzhen, Engari, Siggy, Faith, and Ma and Pa. While on the subject of the shrine, it basically summons mystical spells, grants anyone their most desired wishes, releases an individual's fear or pride, as well as blessing water, which in one episode creates a fountain of youth, turning old people like Kina and Liam young, and fighting off a plague that infected a village. In one episode, we do get to see the reason why it's so important, as we see the history behind it in Okinawa, when ancestors of Taki were betrayed by the Ishida samurai clan, thus leading to a separation between the two for 1,000 years. And speaking of history, Daniel has his own fair share of past stories to be uncovered as we learn about his relationship with his former love interest Tina, who unfortunately went astray in a dark path, as well as being introduced to his Uncle Jack, the secret agent, and Papa Tony. Unfortunately, Daniel is still as stupid and impatient like the films because most situations prevents him from understanding or learning the wisdom of Mr. Miyagi, and oftentimes gets his ass kicked, causing Mr. Miyagi to save him on numerous occasions. But some episodes he does redeem himself as time goes on when he has to work past his own ego to save anyone in harm's way, like Kala from Hunters, Faith from Death, and other characters or random pedestrians. Mr. Miyagi, on the other hand, does what he does best. He uses his mind, thinks positive, acts like a good citizen, and oddly enough, unlike the movies, this show has him perform all sorts of crazy shit like kicking ass, riding a bull, or fighting a giant ass whale. Regardless of whatever stunts he pulls off, even getting injured makes him optimistic. The rest of the show basically shows Daniel butting heads with Taki, playing hockey, making new friends, or simply entering the realm of fantasy by shrinking, because it is a cartoon after all. Before every episode begins, Mr. Miyagi explains a synopsis of what we're about to watch, which is really unneeded. But the cool part is, the voice is by the OG Pat Morita himself, aka the real Mr. Miyagi. By the end of the series, you would like to think that they would get hold of the shrine, but sadly they don't, and their journey is far from over. This show unfortunately offers nothing more to the franchise aside from decent action, music, and graphics. Other than that, it provides nothing eventful or meaningful in making me want to watch it again. At some point, there was really no point to this show, and despite being only 13 episodes, I had no desire to continue after the first half. Although it was stated to be in syndication for 65 episodes, the series was cut short to 13 and cancelled, and honestly, it's probably for the best, because watching these three characters chase after a mystical shrine and adding in useless sub-characters and storylines would have been a disaster. One last thing to note is that the shrine did appear in the Netflix show Cobra Kai in the background, so I thought that was pretty cool. I love the movies, but this cartoon was not needed even if they wanted to make money off of it. Therefore, The Karate Kid the animated series gets a C-. Thanks for watching, give a like and subscribe for more animated series reviews, and stay tuned for the next episode.